Hey guys, Infidel 1258 here. Today I want to talk to you about a post that Aggroed did on Discord, in the Splinterlands Discord. It came out earlier today, I think. And in it, he talks about when will Chaos Legion packs sell out, and he relates that to Untamed and how they sold. He even gives data and graphs that depict what will transpire with Untamed previously and with Chaos Legion so far. And he speculates, look, if we carried forward at the pace that we closed out Untamed, then that would mean we finish 180 days earlier than we sold out the Untamed. It would be roughly a year of sale time before we were done. Let's look at the post and let's unpack it together. Is he being way too bullish? What is this a reasonable thing for, leaders of Splinterlands to be posting? I want to talk about all of that. Let's get into it. Before we do though, my name is Dwayne and I go by Infidel 1258 and we cover Splinterlands on this channel all day, every day. It's changed my life and I think it can change yours. Let's get into it. So Aggroed, founder, Tender Shepherd, 7:35 a.m. on today. So just 6 hours ago maybe, said, this is a crazy image and it tells a hell of a story. What you're looking at is a graph of pack sales. The orange line is what actually occurred for Untamed, and the graph on the left shows the pack sales that have already occurred for Chaos Legion. And the graph on the right incorporates the data from the Untamed into an educated guess about how Chaos Legion will finish out. Let's quickly look at the graph and then we'll pop back to what he said here. Look on the left here, we see the orange line represents Untamed and what that actually did is a fact. Like, this is a factual statement. The percentage goes up as time goes by until finally 100 packs sell. And notice how it tails up, that as the assets get closer and closer to being done, historically speaking, that sparks a degree of FOMO, because in this lull period, in the middle toward the beginning, you get this burst, which is excitement, exuberance. Then you get this lull where things, they're selling, of course, but it's not parabolic by any means. And then you get this like almost parabolic move toward the end because packs are running out rapidly. There's excitement around. The assets inside them have now existed for a while. The asset prices have gone up and therefore opening the packs is exciting. Plus growing audience. So that's what happened with the orange represents Untamed. And then he's saying, look at this purple line. This is Chaos Legion so far. And look at, in terms of the percentage that have been sold out of the total amount that's available, we have sold more of the Chaos Legion packs than Untamed packs in the first 180 days-ish of the sale, both in a percentage and a nominal form. Like, there are 15 million Chaos Legion packs, and we've sold over half of them. That means we've sold 8 million-ish Chaos Legion packs. There were only ever 1.5 million Untamed packs. And so we've sold way more from a nominal number standpoint. Like, that's gigantic. The price was double. That's amazing. The collection power for cards inside those packs was significantly lower. That makes it even more astonishing that the sales have been this successful thus far. And so his point appears to be, look, objectively speaking, we've sold more of the of Chaos Legion than we would have for Untamed at this point in its existence. And that's a really poignant point. Like, this is a fact, and it's worth noting. And then he carries forward and he says, look, if all we did was we kind of tailed up in the same way we tailed up with Untamed moving forward, so we just copy and paste this component, we're going to see a progression that looks something like that. And I think it's probably right. And I've said so on my channel. I've talked about how like I said just a minute ago, toward the end of the sales, as the assets become more and more scarce, there's fewer and fewer left. People have FOMO and they decide to spike in or jump in hard. And that's why we get this little parabolic tail at the end. Now, this purple line is just a theory. And he could be wrong. And we could see a lull that continues and continues and continues for all we know, and maybe passes the orange line. I find that exceedingly unlikely, personally. And so does Aggie. And I mean, I just agree with him though, because look, there's a confluence of factors that are ongoing right now that really imply this is probably more likely than something altogether bearish where we just delay and delay and delay and finally, last longer than 500 days. Because look, it's 560 days here. That's when the Untamed sold out. So far, Chaos Legion's at 100 and maybe 200 or 190 or something. So he's saying, look, at this pace, we're going to finish around 400, 380, 400-ish. And that's way sooner than we sold all the Untames. And again, it's not even, it's like apples and oranges, because we sold 1.5 million Untamed packs in 500 days, but we're going to sell 15 million Chaos Legion packs in something like 400 days. So the growth is crazy. And again, the cost of each pack is twice as much. The collection power within each pack is half as much. This is astonishing how this has been going so far. Forget about what's going to happen tomorrow. Even what's happened so far is astonishing. And so I strongly agree with the sentiment here. I feel exceedingly confident that Chaos Legion is going to sell out before Untamed did. Like I don't know if it's. I've been saying like toward the end of this year, like before this year ends, that I believe Chaos Legion will sell out. Let's carry on to see what he says, because I want to fully examine this, and then I want to close with my thoughts on, Aggie posting this content, because that's worth talking about too. But let's finish out the conversation. He goes on to say that it shows that Matt in particular is a genius, and we are currently on track for 390 days of Chaos Legion sales, where we wanted 365, which if we finish in that neighborhood, that's an amazing, the accuracy there, the forecasting, that would be really impressive. Time will tell if we actually finish there. Maybe we finish earlier, we go a little bit later, but I think he's on to something. And I've long thought Matt is a genius. It also doesn't account for guild sales. We're seeing increased activity from guilds and whales who want to purchase large volumes of packs, SPS, nodes, and whatever else we got going on. This is an element we don't really have for Untamed, and may end up speeding the whole thing even more. He's talking about guilds stepping in and big buyers, big bulk buyers coming in and really just consuming the assets that we offer within this game. And in this game, in this moment, that includes Chaos Legion, but at a future date, it could include other things too, like nodes or even, I guess, Rift Watchers. Finally, we're cruising along at a pretty good clip during the longest steady decline of BTC in history of Bitcoin. Yeah, this is an amazing point. The fact that we are ticking up like this parabolic boom, and then even that we're kind of this trend rate. If you just look at this trend, since last 100 days roughly, we've been ticking up very similarly percent-wise as what would have been over here. And so despite Bitcoin being way down, despite crypto being really suppressed in this moment, this is a hugely positive sign. I've said before, it appears to me from Splinterlands seems to some extent insulated from the bear market. And I don't think we're in a full-fledged bear market at this moment, but I do think this is very like a bear trend, at least for the last few months. And this bodes well that our assets are selling, that these assets are appreciating because the cards within them are appreciating. And I mean, despite the negative price action. Now he says, I don't have a crystal ball and I can't tell you what the future brings, but I look at the data and I think, my God, Splinterlands is a beast. The community is awesome. This is actually amazing. It puts the end of Chaos Legion sales somewhere in the November timeframe. I've been thinking November, December. We have 61 days of airdrop left. We sold out the pre-sale validator nodes in 10 minutes. That's only 2,655 are left in tranche 1, and we have more than 400 million SPS staked. We're 57% through Chaos Legion. This is the main crux of the point here. Like, the amount of Chaos Legion percentage-wise that we've liquidated, that we've sold so far, is gigantic in comparison to what Untamed did. And this is despite it being 10x, which is so wild. The Untamed chart shows a marked uptick in speed at 65% sold. That's an important point. That's the parabolic movement toward the end of it, right? He says, please push and shove. The second half of the year should be pretty awesome for this game, the economy, and the community. Don't say you weren't warned. Now, first of all, I agree with him. I do. I think validator nodes, rank reward changes, ghost card nerfs, the burn mechanic built into validator nodes, I think land coming, I think modern and wild rank reward divisions and the extra income earning that could generate for the community at large. The new reward cards that are coming, the vampire ones, and a number of other factors. Guilds being built out more, guild rewards being more and more lucrative because we've been told SPS is going to come to that. Just the number of factors that are available to really be exciting and bullish around this game from an economic standpoint are huge. I just listed, I think, 8. And I really strongly believe that we are only getting going here. And I very strongly believe that he's right, that things are going to be heating up toward the end of the year, and that we are looking at Chaos Legion packs selling out well before Untamed packs ever sold out in terms of time on the market. 400 days sounds reasonable. Also, end of year 2022, it sounds reasonable. And as that happens, that would also imply great things for the price of Chaos Legion cards and packs themselves, because once there's less packs available for sale, the Hive Engine marketplace the prices will take up, and so will the cards on Peak Monsters. So this is all very, very exciting, and I agree with the sentiment he shares, but the question remains, is it a good thing that Aggroed is posting this sort of content? I don't know. That's a fair question. Look, Aggroed often calls himself the Chief FOMO Officer, doesn't he? I think so. CFO, Chief FOMO Officer. I'm pretty sure I've heard him say that. And then you've heard him talk constantly about this idea of, he says it here, please push and shove. He's like, there's not enough assets. There's not enough land. There's not enough Chaos Legion packs. There's not enough everything. Validator knows, please push and shove, he says. And he's not shy about that. It's not like this is coming out of left field. So on the one hand, I say this is just Aggroed, and we know this is his opinion, and anybody who's paying attention is going to recognize that this is an opinion, not a forecast. But at the same time, he's got a high position at Splinterlands, and this is going to stir in certain people that are perhaps not the most attentive or thoughtful. This is going to stir excitement and FOMO in a way that really should never happen. Like all of you who are listening and hear my voice, I want you to always, even when I bring to you excitement, I expect that you're going to take that and pour a little salt on it and think to yourself, do I agree with Dwayne? Do I agree with Aggie? And if you don't, I want to see comments below. But I know for a fact that there are people in the world that hear a comment like this from Aggie, or from me even, and they think, oh, that's got to be true. Dwayne thought it. And that's nonsense, guys. Think for yourself. Make your own opinion. He gave some good data. I think he makes a compelling case, and now it's up to us to then take that information and to decide and discern for ourselves whether we believe the suggestion is logical and possible, or even probable. In my opinion, everything he said here makes perfect sense. And in my opinion, he's probably right. And in fact, this coincides with my expectations. For the last at least 2 months, I've been expecting this exact kind of timeline. And it's really neat to see this data here pointed out in this way. And I do think it's reasonable to grab the rate of sale at the end of Untamed and kind of just transcribe it onto the end of Chaos Legion. I think that's a reasonable suggestion. Yes, Chaos Legion is different than Untamed, but look at this purple line. It's not a personal opinion. This is an objective fact. That's what has happened so far. And somehow at 200 days or 190 days or whatever, we are farther ahead than we were with Untamed. That alone is a firm foundation on which I think you could draw some of the conclusions that Aggie has done. And at the end of the day, whether Aggie or Yaba or even people like me perhaps shouldn't be saying this sort of bullish stuff, because it might be encouraging people to take bigger bites than they can afford to. But everybody's going to put on their big boy pants and make their own decisions for themselves and take responsibility for their thoughtfulness and what they buy and don't buy. And yes, this is a bull argument. And yes, this is possibly mistaken. I don't think so. But you guys have to decide that for yourself. Is this game fun? Does this game have a future? If so, then take these conversations seriously and unpack the data but don't just believe it because you want it to be true. Look at what he's saying and thoughtfully consider the possibilities around it. It looks to me like he's made a cogent and even probable argument here. Time will tell. In the meantime, all of us should look at stuff like this with a discerning eye and let that inform, let that process of discernment over this content and over these numbers and over this speculation, let that inform what you do today and tomorrow until, even the next 4 years within this game. Because I think that sort of thoughtfulness and critique over even what people like Aggie or what I would tell you is going to serve you so well. It's actually going to equip you for greater success beyond Splinterlands and just broadly at life, because that is how we succeed. We take in information from points A, B, and C, expert D, E, and F, and then we just say to ourselves, what do I think? Given all the information in front of me, what do I think? And then you try to make your decision and you make your bed and you lie in it. I believe this is going to happen. What do you guys think? And should Aggie be sharing this sort of content, or is it maybe inappropriate because of his connection and his deep investment? I don't think that's fair. I don't have that concern, but what do you guys think? Guys, have an amazing day. Let me know in the comments below how you feel. God bless.